Hi everyone, it's Margaret Manning here, and welcome to Mornings with 60 and Me. Today is Saturday, October the 1st. It is the 1st of October, brand new month. So welcome. I've got my cup of tea this morning. I am drinking cherry tea. It's beautiful red deep tea, very sweet and lovely. So hope you got a cup of tea or coffee, and let's go through the news of the world and start your weekend off well. Now, we've got a really great story to share with you today. If you didn't know this, today is the United Nations Day of Older Persons. It's a day where they celebrate the accomplishments of older people and the wisdom that we bring to the world. And CNN International has done an article to commemorate this day. Now, the connection is that a few months ago we did an article asking women in our community to share what advice they would give to their younger self. Now, we shared this article with CNN, and they loved it and decided that they would like to incorporate some of our quotes and pictures of our women in the article today. So they have now today featured 8 of our 60 and Me community members, and they've featured a beautiful picture and their quote. So it's really wonderful to be acknowledged and recognized by CNN, and also to really give us a platform to talk about what's important to us in terms of shattering aging stereotypes, and have a platform to share the wisdom that we've accumulated over the years. So thanks to all the women that helped us put this together. We'll give you a link in the article so you can go and check out the whole thing. And if you're a Twitter follower, if you tweet, there's a hashtag advice from elders that CNN has started today, so you can go join the conversation. But I just think it's a great recognition from CNN and also to our women who just give so much back to this world. And it's a happy International Day of Older Persons. Now let's get on with some news that's going on around the world. Now, in Afghanistan, there's been a lot of challenge in Afghanistan for many years, and a lot of fighting between various terrorist and opposition groups. But the Prime Minister, or the President actually, Ashraf Ghani, has just signed a peace agreement with one of the very well-known terrorist groups called Hezb Islami, and the leader is a man called Gulbuddin Hekmatyar. He's been in exile for 20 years, but running his campaign from his remote location. And what was interesting is when he accepted this peace agreement, it was a remote agreement. He was in another location. He actually said to the Taliban, "Look, do the same. Let's just get around the table and take this fight from the streets, to a negotiating table." So that's good news in Afghanistan. I really hope that it works. They certainly need some stability there. Now, in another part of the world that needs stability, in Iraq, the French government has just sent some aircraft fighter jets on their aircraft carrier, Charles de Gaulle, to help the government forces as they approach and attempt to take back Mosul. Now, I've mentioned several times it's going to be a huge story when it starts to happen. Everyone's just kind of getting positioned, but it's the Iraqi government and a coalition of countries from around the world are set to try to retake Mosul from Islamic State army. And they know it's going to be tough, and there's a lot of people that live in the city. It's Iraq's biggest, second largest city. So anyway, I just hope that all goes well. Now, another fun story, well, it's not a fun story, but interesting story, is that the police in Italy were looking for cocaine when they searched a remote farmhouse, but they found something a lot more valuable. They found 2 paintings by Van Gogh, a famous painter, who were stolen from Amsterdam about 14 years ago, a long time ago. But they found these pictures. They'd been stolen and were in the home of one of the mafia leaders in Naples. So anyway, they're worth $15 million each. So they've got them back now, and of course the art gallery in Amsterdam is thrilled. Now, another story that I want to share with you, which is one of my favorites. This little space agency, spacecraft called the Rosetta space mission has been circling this comet. It's the 67P/GCG comet. For years, and I think 12 years, and they've just been circling, and they launched a probe to really try to understand what the atmosphere is like around this comet, because they feel like it is going to reveal a lot about the beginnings of our Earth. And so they launched this probe called Philae, but if you remember, it's a couple of years ago, it failed, didn't land properly, and it sort of ran out of energy. But this little spacecraft has continued to circle around the comet, and yesterday they decided that they were going to end its life because it had really done all it could, and it was going to get too far from the comet. So they let it crash into the comet. And in doing so, it sent its last pictures back, that are, and samples of dust that are going to really help scientists to understand, about our own planet's past, and, give us some insights into how this all got started. Anyway, it's a very interesting story, but this poor little space probe is now no more. But it was quite sad, really, to watch it as its little green line just, flattened, and it was on the comet where it wanted to be. So very last story about the climate and about space and things that I think are important as we get into the issues of climate change. The EU, which is made up of 28 countries, actually has agreed en masse to support the Paris climate deal. Now, this is something that's was discussed in the UN recently, and if you remember the last article, they needed 55 countries that represented 55% of global emissions in order to put this law into effect. Well, if everything goes to plan with this EU acceptance, they will have enough. And this is actually very good news, because it means that we will do the best to, just to sort of control global warming and / greenhouse gas emissions in countries around the world. Everybody doing what they can. I just think it's amazing that we've reached that agreement. And really good job, EU, because it was going to potentially take a very long time to get everyone to agree, but they've now all signed on. So that's it. Now, here's a couple of stories that I'd like to share with you. Now, we talk about good health all the time, and we also talk about just healthy aging. And there's an article I found, it was actually in Saga magazine. Now, Saga actually is they have travel articles. They have a travel business in the UK, but their newsletter always contains really interesting stories. Their primary audience is over 50s. So this is an article by a man called Daniel Cloughlin, and he talks about foods that can help with chronic pain. Now, there's very few women over 50, 60 who don't have some little pains in their back or their, arthritis in their hands, and it is chronic. There's not a lot you can do. There are foods, exercise, all those good things. But his idea are, there are some foods that chemically can help us. They contain special ingredients. Now, I won't read them all. I'll leave you the link so you can go check it out. But here's a few that you might not expect can help with chronic pain, arthritis, osteoporosis, that sort of thing. First one is pomegranates. Apparently, they have some really potent pain-killing properties, and they're really beautiful, tasty, and good for you. So that's one thing that they say can boost your resistance to chronic pain. And by the way, I'm not saying these are going to solve pain problems. I'm just saying that they're foods that this gentleman recommends you try that have got nature's way of healing embedded in them. So, but pomegranates. Second were ginger. Now we know ginger. We love ginger. Hands up. And ginger does have a lot of properties. It's been in the Chinese and Indian health regimes for years, and they say it's as good as ibuprofen. It's really got powerful anti-inflammatory powers. So ginger is a good drink or food to eat. Next one we all know about too is turmeric. Now turmeric has curcumin, which is a really, really powerful antioxidant. And we've got so many articles we've written and also research projects. Just check online for turmeric. It's a really, really amazing food. The next one is my tea, cherries. Cherries are packed with, now I can't even pronounce this, anthocyanin antioxidants, but they can relieve post-exercise muscle pain. So if you go to the gym and you get a little tired, have a cherry drink. Apparently it's really good for you. Now, the other one that I think is interesting is not a food, but a spice. So turmeric is a spice too, but this one's thyme. Now, we all know that certain Italian villages seem to have people that live forever, hundred years plus, and they eat a lot of thyme and also rosemary. And these apparently both have enzymes that block pain. So there you go. Thyme or rosemary are really good to just put in your salad or in your food, and just might help. And of course, one of the last ones is caffeine. Now, coffee has magical powers, apparently, when it comes to pain control. It's actually added to painkiller medication, I'm told, so that it can speed up the absorption. So caffeine. And then he goes on to talk about salmon, olive oil, pineapple. There's all kinds of them. So if you have any foods that you'd like to recommend, just leave it in the comment section below. And don't wait until I tell you. Just anytime you hear something that is interest to you, just join, just put a comment in the comment section, and we can all have a chat about it. But that's foods that are apparently meant to help you with chronic pain. Now, I just want to do one little story here that to help out our friends at Huffington Post. Now, Huffington Post has many different segments to it, and there's one called Huff Post 50. Now, we actually write for Huff Post 50. We're one of their writers, one of their bloggers, and we do actually really love sharing with them because they have great content, and they also do take care of the content for people over 50. It's a really great site. I check it out. Now, the editor of Huff Post 50 is a woman called Rita Wilson. If that name is familiar, she's married to Tom Hanks, but she's a great woman in her own right. She's got lots of, she's an actress, she's got lots of publications, but she drives this Huff Post 50 page. She is looking for caregivers who want to share their story for an article they are writing in November. It's apparently, I mean, I didn't know this number, but it's 60 million people in America alone that are care partners or caregivers for, partners with dementia, spouses, even, children, adult children that have medical problems. People just are looking after each other. And, women over 60 are really, in a way, struggling with this because they've got themselves to think about, plus their adult children, but plus their parents who are dealing with illness. So Rita Wilson has said, is there anybody out there who wants to help her with this article for National Family Caregivers Month, which is in November? So again, we'll put the link there for you, so you can, if you're interested, you can nominate someone to be featured, and then HuffPost 50 will contact you and have a word with that person, or you can actually nominate yourself. So if you're a caregiver and you feel that you've got a good story to share, that you have learned a lot on the journey, Rita Wilson and the team at HuffPost 50 would love to hear from you. So the deadline for nominations is in October, is 19th. So you've got a few weeks to think about it and submit your name. And if you've got any questions, just leave them in the section below and we'll answer them. But that's HuffPost 50. And now, just one final thing. We gave away a little postcard yesterday. Now, I am trying to find the postcard. Oh, excuse me, I've got to reach over. Sorry, I left it way on the other side of my desk. This beautiful little postcard, which has got the little Swiss Saint Bernard and these cute little dogs. This is a really sweet picture. And so my winner of the day for that picture is Cheryl Day. So congratulations, Cheryl. You sent me a note to say you'd love it, and I'm really looking forward to sending it to you. It's actually a huge postcard, and it's going to come in the mail from Switzerland to you. So thank you, Cheryl, and congratulations. Now, I think that's about it for today. I've given you lots of things to think about, but I'd like to give you one more thing. And I'd like to ask a question. It's something that really is relevant to today's day, the UN International Day of Older Persons, and what we have as older women to contribute to the world. So I would love to ask you the same question that we asked our women a few months ago, and that is, what message would you write on a postcard to your younger self? As an older woman now, what message would you write on this postcard to your younger self? I really look forward to your comments and your feedback on this question. I'm going to join in the conversation, so I look forward to reading what you've got to say. What message would you put on a postcard to your younger self? Okay, everyone. Well, I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Have a great Saturday. Do something special for yourself. Enjoy the day. And I'll see you all back here tomorrow on Mornings with 60 and Me. Bye-bye for now.